Hello, Richard. I'm Caroline Williams, the CEO of Bodyform. We read your Facebook post with interest, but also a sense of foreboding, and I think it's time we came clean. We lied to you, Richard, and I want to say sorry. Sorry. What you've seen in our advertisements so far isn't a factual representation of events. You're right. The flagrant use of visualizations such as skydiving, rollerblading and mountain biking, you forgot horse riding, Richard, are actually metaphors. They're not real. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but there's no such thing as a happy period. The reality is, some people simply can't handle the truth. In the past, we've tried to be more honest in our approach. In the 1980s, we ran a series of focus groups to help us gauge the public's reaction to periods. The cramps, the mood swings, the insatiable hunger. And yes, Richard, the blood coursing from our uteri like a crimson landslide. So, we knew we'd have to change our strategy. And so, from that day to this, we have managed to maintain this illusion. But you, Richard, have torn down that veil and exposed this myth, thereby exposing every man to a reality we hoped they would never have to face. You did that, Richard. You. Well done. I just hope you can find it in your heart to forgive us. Oh, sorry, Richard. You did know that we do that too, didn't you? Hello, Caroline Williams. Yes.
Women cannot rule.
Women should be slaves.
Women need to be controlled.
Frauen sollten zu Hause bleiben.
Las mujeres necesitan ser disciplinadas.
A new ad campaign launched this week by UN Women reveals that despite decades of global advancement,
prejudice and discrimination towards women and gender equality still continues today.
It shows stark images of real, auto-completed Google searches
over the mouths of women portraits as if to silence their voices.
Online searches can reveal a lot about us as a society.
You go and search on Google and you'll see it for yourself.
These are real results. This is not something extrapolated.
People are already speaking out under the hashtag women should.
The online world has literally turned into this enormous UN forum for the people.
The autocomplete truth has become a viral sensation, capturing headlines across the world.
Individuals and organizations are now creating their own versions.
If you haven't already joined the conversation on gender equality, this online video might just persuade you.
10-year-olds, 11-year-olds debating gender equality in classrooms.
And I think that says a lot about how our schools are catching on.
Shocking results, and these were real, and this is really what they believed was the genesis of how it went viral, so to speak. It was about the imagery that that could be transformed and distributed everywhere.
I think it drives to behavior very quickly, which is really powerful. This is not a campaign just for UN women, the organization. It is for us understanding each other more. So it has a larger, really powerful purpose.
Don't you stop.
Prosperity, stability.
Terrorist is extremist. To prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon.
Den Euroraum zusammenzuhalten.
There aren't nearly enough women round the cabinet table.
Universal rights apply to women as well as men.
Natürlich vor allen Dingen auch das Thema der Frauen.
L'égalité entre les femmes et les hommes.
Lots of things were stopping millions of women in England from taking part in exercise, with one common theme: the fear of being judged. And instead of inspiring women, the models and athletes in sports advertising were just fueling the fear. I mean, come on, who looks like that in real life? So how could Sport England inspire women to give judgment the finger and give exercise another go? By street-casting women who'd never been seen in sports ads before. Women who looked like our audience. Women who'd overcome the fear of judgment.
Let's go!
And instead of fixing their cellulite in post, we celebrated it. We jiggled their jiggly bits and soaked the screen with their sweat. It's fair to say they made a bit of a splash.
This campaign is genius. That is so empowering.
It's called This Girl Can.
And the message is, if this girl can, anyone can.
My reaction was, finally something that empowers everyone.
And most importantly, they inspired women all over the world to forget their fears and become girls who can.
It's just a really fun, amazing, uplifting advert that really gets me going in the morning.
I'm knackered.
Women in India have two jobs, one at the office and the other at home.
He waits till I come back, then I have to give him tea. So you don't get time to actually sit down.
They have to do all the household chores alone. And the men?
Going back home, first thing I do is get my tea, evening with friends.
73% of married women feel men prefer relaxing over helping with household chores. As a leading detergent brand in the country, Ariel decided to address this inequality at home. And so we launched Share the Load. We started by raising an important question on national media.
Riya, wo meri green shirt dhoi kyun nahi?
Is laundry only a woman's job? This provoked national conversation and debate.
पुरुषांनी बाहेरची कामं करायची आणि बायकांनी घर सांभाळायचं हे कोणी ठरवलं?
I'm sharing the finances with my husband. Husband should also share my laundry stuff also.
Gender neutrality had to start with a product, so we launched the His and Her pack. And then we went a step further. We turned to the most unexplored medium, the wash care label. We took this space and turned it into the most powerful medium for gender equality. Leading clothing brands, manufacturers, retailers, and designers came forward.
Doing the wash care labels, putting them on my clothes is just another form of saying that, hey, I think that laundry is something that men should take up very seriously as well.
In a landmark move, Ariel tied up with matrimonial websites where millions of marriages are arranged. Willingness to share the load was introduced in the matchmaking profiles. The results: millions of men pledged to share the load. Men got involved with laundry in fun new ways. Free PR worth over $9.5 million, 1.6 billion earned impressions. Consumer engagement increased 3 times, the highest ever. Sales went up 60%. But most importantly, it created a shift in the mindset of men across the country to share the load.
La mujer argentina se fervorizó y reclamó su puesto en la lucha, y fue dueño de su destino.
In Argentina, the gender gap is 27%. There are several initiatives to put the issue on the agenda, but nothing seems to get there. At DDL&CO, we wanted to make our contribution, so we introduced the Equality Bill. We focused on a particular aspect of Argentine currency. There are 2 100 peso bills, one with the image of Roca, a man, the other with the image of Evita, a woman. For all purchases made at DDL&CO stores on International Women's Day, the 100 peso bill with a woman on them were worth 127 pesos, and the bills with a man were worth 100. Unfair? Of course, but the gender pay gap is even more unfair.
Se trata de una acción llamada el billete de la igualdad.
Donde aquellos clientes iban a comprar con un billete de 100 pesos, pero con la cara de Evita,
compraron como si tuvieran 127 pesos.
DDL lo va a tomar a 127 pesos a favor de la igualdad salarial.
Together, we can show the world that equality is a true value.